And it
the shit out of me.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As I said in my intro video, Mondays are gonna be kind of like a book chat sort of video for the most part, unless I do more than one. And my goal has been to read a book a week. So this past week, I read Pretty Little Things by Jilliane Hoffman. I loved this book. It was so easy to read. I felt like I could really visualize everything happening. And like I love kind of like thrillers and kind of scary books where like absolutely insane stuff is happening. Especially with stories of crimes against children. Those sort of stories really resonate with me, and I'm very invested for justice to happen for the children and families that deal with it. So if you read along with me, this is just kind of like overview, but it's basically about this man who like works in a crimes against children squad. His name's Bobby. He ended up, like, when this book starts, like a year prior, his teenage daughter ran away with kind of like a no good boyfriend, and him and his wife have been haunted by it ever since. And it's just been like a huge strain on them, but he's still kind of working on these cases, trying to bring other children home who have been abducted, or a lot of it has to do with internet sex predators who pose as teenage boys or teenage girls and try to lure young children to them. So that's a lot of it, and that's kind of what this story really delved into. So throughout the book, the kind of main girl who we're following more, who got captured, is this girl Lainey, and it's so creepy. Like right in the beginning, she's like on the computer talking to this boy, and you can like tell from the text that he had somehow put something in her computer, so he was like watching her all the time. And that is my biggest fear, that somebody is going to hack into my computer or my phone and they're just like listening or watching me all the time. I think it's so creepy. And what happened when I was reading this book is because I was like in this headspace where I was like, I don't want anybody to kind of hack into my personal stuff. I was in that headspace the whole time I was reading this book, and I was always on edge when I was reading this book. It was like the least relaxing book to read to wind down at night, because every night basically I'll like write in my journal and I'll read a little bit and drink some tea or wine. This is Sunday night that I'm recording this, so I'm drinking wine. I almost drink wine every Sunday night because I like to mentally get mellow for the week ahead. Anyways, tangent over. So I was like reading this book. It was like Wednesday afternoon, I think, and all of a sudden my phone goes off and it's like, your Postmates order was delivered. And I was like, or not delivered, it was accepted. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, I haven't ordered Postmates in a really, really long time, just because when I'm super lazy, I'll order it, but typically, like, it's so much more money, and every place that I would order from, I can like drive there or even walk there if I'm not being lazy. So I haven't ordered from there in a really long time, but I know that there's like buttons to like reorder stuff you've gotten. So I was like, maybe I like somehow reordered it, like maybe I'm insane. And then I go into my account, and it was the order was from Popeyes, which is like this fried chicken place. I've never been to a Popeyes in my life, so I was like, oh shit, something happened. And thankfully I canceled it right away and it wasn't charged to my account. But then I go into my account and I had like a picture up, because I think that you're supposed to put it up. I don't know if it's like required, but so when the delivery driver comes, they can like see who you are. So my picture was gone, and they changed the number that was my number to their number. So I called it privately, and like this guy answered, and I just like hung up. I just like wanted to see that if it was like a real person. So I had to like go and change all my stuff everywhere because I was so freaked out at that point. And it was also weird, they ordered $80 worth of Popeye's chicken, which I don't even understand or get, or I don't know how that's even possible. They must have been having a party, and like I can't afford $80 worth of Popeye's chicken, so I'm not like gonna help you, random person I don't know. So I'm pretty, so that like, but like the thing is that like I felt so violated, like somebody was in my account changing all my information while I'm reading this book, and it's not even on the same level, but it creeped me out so bad when I was like reading this book and that was happening. Anyways, so there's going to be some spoilers, but basically throughout the book we go back and forth on Agent D's Bobby, and he's like tortured over his daughter not being there, and then there's a lot of events that like lead you to believe that maybe his daughter was captured by this guy who they end up calling the Picasso killer, because he sends paintings of all his victims to this like news reporter, and he will send paintings and it'll have all these clues, and then they find the bodies that way. So based on like the few victims they start finding, they believe that this girl Lainey was captured, which she is, and then Bobby believes that his daughter was captured. So then we like cut to like Lainey in this like little lair, and she hears another girl, and then the girl says her name is Katie, which was Bobby's daughter. And so like the whole time you're like freaking out, and then like this like predator like gets really mad at Katie and like takes her away, and we just have to imagine kills her, hurts her, but we never find out. And then like so the book continues, and Bobby's like more and more convinced that his daughter is there, and like I'm freaking out because I know his daughter's probably dead if that's his daughter Katie. And finally like it all like pieces together, and he figures out that the guy who's doing all the murders is the reporter who had been getting all the paintings. And it made sense because if he got the painting he would touch it, even though Bobby kept telling him not to, but he'd be like, oh, I was just so flustered. So then his fingerprints are already on it, so nobody's checking for his fingerprints. And in the end, he like saves Lainey, and then Lainey goes, oh, he took Katie, and then they find a body, so they have to like, and it was like very like burned and like really difficult to distinguish. And then they find out that that body was not his daughter at the end, and it was like really sad because I mean it's like good because she's alive, but like you don't know it. And then at the very, very end of this book, I bawled like a baby because I mean they had to do something to like tie it all up with his daughter, but like his daughter calls him, and it's like right before Christmas, and he goes back to work after dealing with the whole showdown with this like serial killer guy, and she like calls and she was just like, I miss you, I want to come home, I did really bad things. And like you could just tell he like was like tortured by this whole thing, and he felt like he was like to blame, and so like when she called, it's just really like it brought it all together. And like it was a little bit like, I don't know, it was kind of like the author was like, I have to like tie this in, and it was like legit in the last page, but like I really liked it. It was very satisfying for me, and I cried hysterically for like probably an hour over it. So that was that. So overall I loved this book. I felt like, you know, it said like, I think one of the like reviews or something said that she's really good at like twists and turns, and you never know what's gonna happen. And like typically with books like these and movies that are kind of like crime thrillers, stuff like that, mysteries, like there's always clues, and like I almost always guess like what's gonna happen, but I genuinely like I kind of thought it was gonna be the reporter, so that was something I sort of knew, but the way they like came about it and the way it was revealed I thought was really good. And you know, I was like, oh, I'm sure like his daughter is captured by this serial killer, and then it seemed like she was, but then she wasn't. So I really liked that. That was something I did not expect to see coming. So there were definitely some twists and turns that like I did not expect, and like I often feel like I can like guess pretty accurately. So it was a really exciting read for me. And yeah, just like overall I loved it. It was really good. I would probably give it like a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a really great story. There were a couple characters that, like the girl who got captured in the beginning, Lainey, her mom was like this like very harsh character, and like I could tell she wasn't happy being a mom, and she was in this unhappy marriage, and she was like didn't really have time to like watch her kids or take care of them or whatever. And I feel like that was like such an interesting dynamic, but then kind of like by the end of the book, especially once Lainey got, you know, rescued, that whole thing kind of like petered away. And so I feel like that character started off like a really strong character and like a really crazy character, and then it just kind of like died, which was a little disappointed in that. And then there was this weird part, the whole showdown with the murderer, like they're in this like house where he was keeping all the victims, and I swear to God there was this passage saying that like Bobby came across his body, this reporter guy's body, and he shot himself. And I don't know if that was supposed to be like a dummy, and I reread it a few times, and I don't think it was, unless I like completely misinterpreted it. And then all of a sudden he's like in this basement with Lainey being like, oh, got her. So I feel like it could have been me and I just completely like misread something or misunderstood it. But that was like the only thing. I feel like it was like a weird error. I don't know. So that was that. So this week I am reading another thriller. It was in my book haul that I just did. It's Just Between Us by Rebecca Drake. I would love if you would read along because I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. This book, I did actually start it because I finished this book a little early, and it's basically about these 4 women in suburbia, they're friends, and they all have like these dirty little secrets. And I will say so far I've been enjoying it. Each chapter is told from one of these women's perspectives, which I think is super fun. I like seeing a situation grow and then like kind of getting the thoughts of different people and their kind of like different life experiences and ways of looking at a situation. I really enjoy that a lot. So far it's been really cool. So I'd love for you guys to read along with me. And the last thing in the title is my giveaway. When I reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm actually going to give away my favorite book. It's Peter Pan, J.M. Barrie. Peter Pan's my favorite story. It's my favorite book of all time. I just love it. And once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna just do like a little giveaway for that. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys follow along. Thanks so much for walking. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell and share it with your friends, because I'd love to hit 1,000 subscribers and do this giveaway sooner rather than later. And that's it. Hope you guys have a great week. Bye.